It's been the biggest week yet, and it's finally starting to come together. We've managed to do this week what most people would take a month to do. The boys have put in massive days, we're all exhausted, but we've managed to put the footing in, the blocks are started, the piers are 90% done, and this thing is really starting to take shape. I'm really happy with the progress this week, and we just got to keep on charging. So today's the most important day that we've had this far. We've got piers going on over this side, we've got the line running to this footing on the other side. I don't know how we're going to go with these piers. We might end up just doing half of them today and leave the half for another day, because most important right now is this footing. We got rain in the forecast in a couple of hours, so we really got to try and push this thing out. It's a 90-meter run all the way down here, down a hill. So this is not your run-of-the-mill concrete line pump. It's a massive run, so we run the risk of blockages. So what we'll be doing is running a slurry mix down first, pumping that into the footing. The footings have groundwater in them now, so the boys are busy pumping the water out, getting it all ready to go. So this is why I always give myself a little bit of time before concrete arrives, because there's always little things to tidy up. So we'll pump this out, we'll get the boards in and the heights for the footings, then we'll start running a slurry line here to make sure there's no blockages. Then we'll get real concrete in here and off we go. All right, so we're successfully pumping, which is a really good result. A little bit scary for a moment there because we had a blockage at the very top, but we managed to get rid of it with the boys and tie it up to a pole to keep it sturdy, because what was happening is the line was going down the hill, which caused the blockage. We're pumping now, concrete's coming out nice and easy. It's looking really good, so happy to get it underway, and now we just got to keep going. As you can see, when this pump pushes, every time it jolts, that's when it goes through the new line and the pressure builds up. So what we have to do is actually get these ratchet straps back to a pole and one to the truck to stop this thing actually pushing downhill and stretching the pipe so much that it could break or tear. So we've got two ceramic lines here, but then it goes, the top one is actually rubber. So if you imagine that keeps going too far, it'll eventually rip it, and it's dangerous. But because we've got all this weight downhill, we've had to strap it back each side. So it's something that you always have to consider when you're concreting and doing a long line pump, especially downhill, is how you set up at the top and then how you manage the pressure and all the weight that will be down the hill. So we've got the first bit of the footing in now, which has gone well. We've laser leveled this the whole way. The way we do that is we set up the level prior, then we'll get it on the laser, and we'll go around with the stick, then they'll take their level around that. This concrete is what we call 32 MPa. MPa is just the way they measure concrete strength. So it was actually spec'd at 25 MPa, but I just went for 32. It's a little bit extra, but it's a lot stronger, and with a footing this big, it's not a big deal, just do the extra concrete. It's all going well so far. We've already got 21 cube here. We're estimating about 50, so it looks like we're gonna go a fair bit more than that, probably around 70 or 80, and then we got piers at the same time, so we'll see how we go.
Right guys, as you can see, we're now onto the piers for the pool and for the wall that we're gonna be forming up here. So we're drilling with a big auger, big 450 auger, and that's when we install the form tubes. And we drop the steel, and that's all on cages. We drop it in for strength. We go down to about 2.5 meters in the bad areas. When we hit a bit of rock or terra firma, we pull up. And then we start getting all this area ready. So when we do the pour, this all sits on decent ground, as well as our piers that are individually placed here for strength of the deep end of the pool, going on over to the spillway. So you can see how many we're doing. Probably gonna do about 50 of these in the bottom end of the pool here, just to make it really strong and beefy. So when we do the final install and pump, she's gonna be holding up pretty good.
We're nearly done with the footing now, which is a really good result. The rain's coming in, but we've had enough time to get the footing done. There's about 2 truckloads to come. The boys have been busy here piering all the piers. Now we're putting all the steel in with the former tube. I'm gonna leave them sticking up so we can bend them into the pool later. We'll be able to move on to these next. We're not gonna finish all the piers today, but it's actually gonna be a really good effort to get as many done as we are. So really happy with the progress today. And once these are in, they're set, I'm not gonna have to worry about the rain. And then we'll come back later and finish off the other ones when we're finishing off shaping the pool, and we'll keep charging.
A tip for doing piers with these spirals is, as the concrete is poured in, you just grab a hold of that spiral and just lift it up and down. And it's going to vibrate the concrete quite well. And then as the last thing that you do is just lift that up, get the steel off the floor so you've got the required cover. So you don't have to worry about packing it up or sharing it up. And it's just easy to go. You can bang them out one after the other, it's quick.
We've managed to get the footing completed. We had rain all yesterday, so it's actually a good thing in this scenario we got in for the rain, because an Australian standard for all concrete is you need to have a wetting curing period after it. So normally it's about 7 days of watering down concrete to make sure you get no shrinkage cracks in the the concrete cures properly. It's not like a sand that hardens. It's actually a chemical reaction that occurs, and water helps that curing process go slower, because the faster it goes, the more brittle the concrete can become. The good thing is we got this footing in before rain like we had planned, which is the same old story here, but that's why we keep pushing and make sure we meet dates, because if that had pushed and we had rain and we had to push the whole footing back, then we get pushed back a week. Then my blocks that I have getting delivered today that we're doing right now would have had to been pushed back, and then the whole program gets pushed. That's why it's really important to have a team that really wants to push with you, which the boys have done, and I'm super, super proud of them, because they were massive, massive days that we've had. They really stood the test. So we're getting the blocks down now. The hill is the biggest logistical challenge we have here. So we've actually got a super large posi track. A posi track is basically what they call, in America, a skid steer or bobcat. And this one has fork attachments like a forklift. So you have the tracks and then you have the forks that will go into the crates on the blocks. That way we can go there, reverse down the driveway, reverse down the hill, and actually get these pallets down to where they need to be. Like everything with this job, the logistical side of it is the hardest part. We're getting through it now. The blocks are down here, and we're actually gonna hopefully start laying blocks today. The block layers are here. So we'll go through a set out soon, and then, we can start laying blocks, which is a really good result. It's probably gonna take, a week, 2 weeks for these blocks to be laid. There's a bit of detail to them. Come this time next week, you'll be able to see this block wall really starting to form. So you'll notice now 90% of these piers are in, and we got all these bars sticking out of them. We have the cages, which you've seen, that we slot into the piers, but these are then slotted into the pier with what we call a cog, or basically an insert into the piers that we tie into the pool. The engineering says these end bars need to go 600 into concrete and then 600 out of the shell. But you can see we've left a lot longer than that, but that's to provide us enough room to move. We can always cut these and move them. The piers now are all at height. You'll see a couple of former tubes still standing up in the air. We're just yet to cut them. When we get to the pool, we'll cut them all to height flush. But what we'll do is we'll get a bender and we'll bend them like this into the pool shell. Once these are bent, they come up and out into the pool shell. We'll run steel over the top of them, and that's how you actually distribute the weight. So we're going like this, 2 this way, and then 2 this way, like that. Once they're obviously bent at perfect right angles, you'll have the steel running across that longitudinally and horizontally. So that's how you actually distribute the weight of the pool onto the piers. Without these, you're just sitting on nothing. There's no way to actually distribute the weight into the pool. That's why these are really important yet again. So these caps are safety caps, because these can impale people. We always make sure we go around and put these caps on. Even if we run out, we use bottles, which is an old school method. Those bottles are just temporary, so once we get them out, I'll always replace them with these caps just to keep everyone safe on site. These are the 300 series and 200 series blocks I've mentioned before. So as you can see, they actually have different widths. So the height on them is the same. They're both 200 or 190 with it, but 200 once you stack them with the mortar. But as you can see, turn them sideways, they're different widths. So this is what we call a 300 series block, which just means it's 300 wide, and this is what we call a 200 series block. So this whole wall here, for about 1,500 to 2 meters, depending on where the wall is, will be 300, and then we'll go into a 200 series. The reason we do that is, obviously we've got a massive bank to retain here, and these 300 series blocks are a lot stronger. Once we move past them, we move into the 200 series blocks. So that's how you build a really tall block wall. You've got to start with the really thick 300 series and then move into the 200 series as you get higher. I talked about last week how we had to make sure these step-ups are absolutely perfect so we can line the blocks in. Now the blocks are here, I can kind of show you what I'm talking about. So you can see here we have, 2, 4, 6, and then that's the line there. So once this comes through this block here, it lines perfectly up with this one. So that means by the time the block moves here, which is shortly, this will form the line all the way through. Say we had it, stop 50 mil short here, would run into this, and then you'd be cutting blocks all the way through. It's a super critical thing, these step ups, to get them right. We've actually nailed them on both step ups, so really happy with that result as well. It's been another massive week on site. I'm absolutely exhausted. Next week, we're gonna continue with this block work. Make sure we keep ripping into it, keep punching this program through. We're gonna start boxing out the pool hopefully next week, and then things start to get really exciting because you'll be able to see the whole shape of the pool come together. If you're interested and you're enjoying what you're watching, please like and subscribe. I feel awkward asking that, but apparently that's what you got to do. So thanks for watching.